Biggest mistake I ever made in my life was not getting a vasectomy sooner. Seriously, man, child-free lifestyle, where it's at. Now, if you got kids, you might not want to watch the video, you might want to watch it, because you might think, fuck, I don't want to have more kids. Harley, you're right. Having kids is the hardest, most expensive, highest responsibility, most stressful, most aging, most time-consuming job on the fucking planet. Anyone disagrees with me? Either doesn't have kids or is living in fucking fairy tale world. Ask any parent, man, and say, hey, is having kids the hardest thing you've ever done? The most expensive, resource draining, opportunity cost taxing thing you've ever done? And if they're being honest with you, they'll be like, yeah, fucking oath, man, it's fucking overwhelmingly hard. And I've got a lot of friends with kids, man. So people say, oh, you're like a kid shamer. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm a fucking realist, man. And I want to educate the younger crew out there who don't have kids. And they're thinking, oh, one day I'm going to get married and have kids and I'm going to live in Hawaii and my kids are going to run up and down the beach and they're going to eat bananas and it's all going to be fairy tales. That's a load of fucking bullshit. Even the people who do that, it ain't fairy tales, man. Like, Instagram ain't real life. Newsflash, 2017. Instagram ain't fucking real life. I've got fucking friends, man, with kids. They live in the tropics or they live, you know, this lifestyle, and they got fucking massive amount of stress, man, because it's so hard, man, to raise your conscious kid in today's fucking crazy, unconscious as fuck world. The more conscious you are, the harder it is to raise them, man. Yeah, if you're like an alcoholic on fucking Xanax and prescription drugs and you just you're not even conscious 99% of the time, then it's a lot easier because you're like, oh, whatever, you're just out of it. But having kids, man, hardest thing ever. So the biggest mistake I ever made, man, was like not having that vasectomy sooner, because I lived with stress. I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to get anyone pregnant, I like having sex, and I've got a girlfriend, and it's just like, man, it's stress, bro. So get that vasectomy as soon as you can. Oh, my wife doesn't want me to do it, my girlfriend doesn't want me to do it. Get a new girlfriend or get a new wife, because it's your body, your fucking choice, man. Don't let anyone decide what you can do with your body, man. And a lot of guys maybe 18, you know, 17. It's like, oh, but you know, maybe a bit young. Well, if you're having sex, then you're not too young, bro. You know, if you're having sex, if it's a bit like saying, oh, I drive a car, but I don't think I should be abiding by the speed limits or the drink driving rules, because, you know, I just don't have to do that because I'm a bit young for that. It's like, I just want to have fun. No, man. If you're sticking your dick in someone, there's that risk of getting someone pregnant. So fucking, fuck it, man. Get a vasectomy. I don't give a fuck how old you are. Go to Thailand, find an experienced surgeon, get it done over there. And fuck what your parents think. Or, I mean, so many guys don't get a vasectomy because like, well, what do parents kind of think? Just don't fucking tell them. Don't tell them then. Just lie to them. If your parents are so unconscious, so old school, that they will just flip their lid, then just lie to them, man. You know, let them believe the fucking fairy tale. Like, if that's what they're like, man, then just let them believe the fairy tale. And I love, you know, I fucking love, man, this lifestyle. I get to be a fucking big kid the rest of my life. And I've got heaps of friends who, you know, my age, who just, I can't bring up. Okay, there's a few people I could call up on Snapchat today and say, hey, let's go film some shit, let's go fucking go for a ride or whatever. And you know how old they are? 18 to 23. They're young fuckers, man. None of my 40-year-old friends can do that because they've got responsibility, you know? Actually, a couple of them can because they don't have kids. But all the ones with kids, they can't just get up and go. Because their partner will be, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Like, fucking, you know, go hang out with the kids, don't go for a 200k bike ride. Just fair enough. But there's so many kids out there. In my world, in my opinion, if I was in charge, it'd be like, if you want to have kids, you got to prove you're worthy of that. If you're like a guy, okay, I'm gonna lose a few people here, but that's fine. The people who are still here, they want to hear it. I reckon, hear me out. I think we should have every single fucking male teenager at 16 or whatever, before you have sex, if you want to have sex, okay, you gotta get a vasectomy. And then if you want to have kids, you gotta go for this, like, you gotta jump through motherfucking hoops, man. Like fucking hurdles over hurdle. You gotta be like Olympic gold hurdlist to get through the fucking system to be able to prove that you can have kids. Because there's 132 million orphans out there and growing. And mate, even the fucking people who, even the kids who have parents, how many parents really have time for their kids? They're working so hard because there's so much competition to raise these kids, to give them a better education, to give them a better head start in life, because there's more and more people on the planet. The more people on the planet, the more competition we have. And the harder shit is, man. More competition for food, for mates, for housing, for everything. The more dense the city is, the higher the real estate, the higher the rents. The further out the city go, the cheaper it gets, because no one wants to fucking live there. There's less competition. Competition creates more expensive food. more expensive shelter, harder to get mates and partners and stuff. It's less safe because there's more cutthroat, there's more crime. So show me one city in the world where crime has decreased, where population's increased. Bullshit, you're fucking dreaming. Why have kids in today's world, man? You know, like if you got kids, you're meant to have them. The universe only gives us what we can handle. If you already got them, you got them. Don't have any more unless you want more stress, more financial burden, more opportunity cost, more responsibility. And that's just being straight up honest, man. Not many people are going to tell you this. This is the only probably video on YouTube where people are going to spit at the camera and tell you how it is. And that's the biggest mistake I made, was not getting a vasectomy sooner. You know, I was like, oh man, it's your body, man. Your choice. And do it. And if people, your parents or your partner will freak out, whatever, just don't tell them. But then again, you want to tell them, because you want to let the truth become a filter in your life. Filter out the flakes, filter in the gold. So it's better to be transparent and honest and say, look, this is what I'm doing. People can take it or leave it. And then you just, you know, like, just do it. Just be brutally honest, man. That's the best way. But more honest, more, what's the word? More, what's the word? I'm gonna throw a jump cut in here, but I won't. Be real, man. Be real with what you want in life. For me, I'll never want to grow up, because growing up means more responsibility. I've got enough responsibility, you know, and just got to be real with yourself. And then the more real you are with you can be more real with other people. And then when they flip out or flip their lid, you're like, whatevs. You're not going to freak out, because you're like, cool, I'm telling you the truth. If you can't handle the truth, then that's nothing. Yeah, it's not part of me. It's a part of you. That's on you, man. So be real with yourself, be real with other people. Just drop bombs, drop truth bombs, but walk your fucking talk. It's one thing to say, oh, do this, do that, but if you're not doing it, come on, man, you're being a fucking hypocrite. And we've got this Indian Pacific wheel race coming up, and cycling maven, he just signed up for it. He's going to do it, and he rang up his work and he said, look, I want to do this fucking race, I need time off. And they're like, no, you can't have time off. And he's like, well, I quit. He was just real with them, man. And then that way you're creating a job for someone else, and you're doing what you want to do in life, you know. And you might do something, you know, get a new job or get a new partner or whatever, and it might not work initially, but at least you're doing what's real to you. You're being real with self. And we need more real people on the planet. We don't need more fucking kids, man. We've got so many people breeding, just popping out kids because, oh, that's what you do when you're 30 or you're 25, or you just, you know, got to have kids, you know, like my dad wants to be a grandpa. And no, fuck that, man. Be real. The real situation on the planet is the planet's getting fucked up more and more every single day. To breed more people on the planet, even if they're vegan kids, man, there's still like cars and airplanes and resources and cameras and Wi-Fi and land. You got to cut down more forests to build another fucking house. You know, even my place, we had 12 people staying there. The most eco house in Adelaide. The most eco house in Adelaide, bar none. Still required deforestation of that little area to have people living there. So the more people, even if we're eco, green, hippie, stinky, fucking vegan motherfuckers on bikes, we're still a drain on the planet. No more kids, please. Get the fucking vasectomy. Fuck your brains out. Live the life, man. Live the dream. And for me, that dream is leaving a utopia, leaving a legacy, making your life count that you ever lived at all.